We go live to the summit of the Group 77 in China held in Havana. Let's listen to the statement of Aisén Etcheverry, Minister of Science, Technology, Knowledge and Innovation of the Republic of Chile.
Issues, common concepts and strategies in the negotiations with the developed countries. G77 and China is closely linked to the agreements and achievements of the UN system. Since the establishment of the group in 1967, its creation and articulation has allowed international community and in particular the Global South to place their priorities in the discussion, contributing to the development of our countries. As a country, we are certain that the summit will allow us to face better the challenges of developing countries and will give us the opportunity to identify converging points and complementarity for our common challenges. Likewise, we believe this meeting will strengthen the voice of the G77 plus China in the wake of different negotiation processes like these Sustainable Development Goals Summit and the Summit of the Future. The negotiation process in New York for these two summits should have an approach of international equality, together with solidarity, fair treatment, and equal treatment among states. Equality among states and respect for international law does not make possible the imposition of unilateral coercive measures nor economic blockades against any country. We have been consistent in rejecting the blockade against Cuba and will continue pointing out the illegality and irrationality of a blockade against a country. The effects of the pandemic made it clear that the economic blockade not only affects persons and their rights. As pointed out by President Gabriel Boric at the last CELAC European Union Summit, the Cuba's declaration as a country sponsoring terrorism is unacceptable, and we reiterate this at this G77 and plus China summit. We want to express our solidarity with Cuba and its people. This has been reciprocal. For more than 50 years ago, my country suffered a coup d'etat that affected the democracy and institutionality of the country, as well as thousands of persons. Cuba, together with other countries in this room, showed their solidarity, and we will always be grateful to this solidarity and to those countries that gave opportunities to Chileans in the exile. Chile is today the chairman of ECOSOC, and we will make efforts for science and technology to be proper instruments, placing emphasis on the Global South. The voice of our region is key to promote this. The G77 group needs to establish different strategies for this purpose. We know that under Cuba's chairmanship, social aspects and issues will be properly analyzed within the United Nations. We have also stated some priorities. We want to make progress in the fulfillment of the SDGs in a multi-crisis environment and emphasize recovery after the COVID-19 pandemic. We need to focus in food crisis and to make progress in the discussion regarding the international financial architecture. All this requires coordination among member states of the G77 plus China. The SDG summit that will take place in a few days will be very important in our path towards the fulfillment of the 2030 agenda. The actions of G77 will be crucial to support our countries in their achievement of the SDGs. One of Chile's priorities as chairman of the United Nations ECOSOC is to make progress in discussions regarding the international financial architecture, and we hope to contribute as part of this group in promoting debates for a financial architecture with favorable conditions for the South. Efforts to address these deficits must be consistent with SDGs and through a concerted action with involvement of all bodies of the UN system. We need to address the increasing external debt of South countries. As G77, we will place this in the international agenda. The need of low-income countries and middle-income countries, which are very important for the countries that are part of this group. In this regard, we believe that gaps and access to knowledge, science, technology is indispensable to toward the sustainable development of our countries. To achieve SDGs, we must promote access and use of scientific knowledge and technological transfer for the benefit of developing countries. Today, we live a very complex international scenario marked by multiple crises affecting the global population. The duty of the states is to find paths and ways for solutions. For this, science, technology, and innovation are essential. Scientific and technological progress is key for sustainable development, and it should go hand in hand with solidarity. Crises affect everybody without distinction. In fact, climate change affects disproportionately the global South and the developing countries. Against this problem, we need to find global solutions. For this, solidarity, equality, and justice should be the basic parameters for coexistence, and G77 must continue to play an essential role in this in multilateral forums. We should analyze converging points in the group, explore new paths to achieve new agreements. To create a better future for our countries, we must harness and strengthen our talent and capacities in different areas and strengthen those channels that will allow us to generate social, cultural, and material value for our societies. We highlight the importance of digital connectivity to overcome the digital divide, as agreed in the World Summit on the Information Society held in Geneva in 2003 and Tunisia 2005. This digital connectivity not only allows us to overcome the digital divide, but it's also important for adopting advanced technologies of the fourth industrial revolution, like 5G, artificial intelligence, Internet of the Things, cloud, big data, etc. Likewise, we cannot forget that digital connectivity is important for the exercise of human rights, particularly effective access of populations in public services and in the administration of the state. Linked to this need for our connectivity, we want to talk about the importance of frameworks regarding artificial intelligence. This is an important opportunity to solve the main challenges faced by the countries in terms of health, human rights, mobility, and the challenges of different states in the framework of the SDGs. However, our governments must establish regulatory frameworks for artificial intelligence and its impacts to fundamental rights like the right to privacy and freedom of expression. We believe it is important to acknowledge the representation of developed countries in universal governance of artificial intelligence as the ideal instrument for building local capacities. Finally, my country, we deeply regret the tragedy occurred recently in Morocco and Libya. We express our condolences and solidarity towards the Moroccan and Libyan people, in particular the relatives of the victims and those who have been hurt by these catastrophes. Thank you.
Muchas gracias.